Okay, let's try just one more super synopsis on all of this, okay? So, the whole deal in which what we're trying to do is, for me, through the mind manipulation of the biofeedback, I purposely, accidentally did this inner clench thing up into my head, face, just everything head related, eyeballs, everything. This really hard inner clench, inner tension. Well, just, and I connected that inner tension with my thinking. So the inner clenched tension got connected into the thinking. Okay? And yes, that creates a whole hell of a fucking shitload of pain and everything. And it is just an absolute fucking nightmare in every fucking way. The thoughts are super shallow. They're not flowing in the way they're supposed to flow, because the reverse of that is, before I did the biofeedback that where I inner clenched in isometric-inner-tension, which the thoughts got stuck and projected in the tension. So in everything that I do in which I'm trying to think, I'm doing inner clenched tension into it, right? Whereas it's supposed to be, everything's supposed to be relaxed, and all the, when you think of doing something hard and everything, it is all within the thoughts, and then in the hardness of the doing is connected to somatic emotional feelings, and so then your feelings grow stronger, interconnected with those thoughts that feel like nothingness. Okay? And what happened was, I took those somatic, your gut feelings, the somatic, the things that create your emotional feelings, they're all connected with your thinking being just outside of your mind, it feels like. Along with the gut feeling feels just outside. It's like they connect together within themselves when you think of thought images, and your emotions are just flowing with them, but you're not, but you never ever notice that. But the thing is, when you get stuck in the isometric inner tension, as I did through mind manipulation by Dr. Nash, very, very evil, sick person that did that to me. And but in any case, once that happens, you have to figure out what all the humans were doing, like how they used to think, because you can't, once you mind manipulate yourself into an isometric inner tension that connects into the thinking, you can't just stop it. Stopping it is like, what the hell is stopping it? Of course I want to stop it, but it's not working. You can't stop it from within the feeling itself or anything. But you have to figure out something that no one has ever figured out, which is what I was explaining, how you have to, because you switched from somatic feelings connected with your thoughts, like everyone else, how we're all born and raised, how it's all super innate and everything, and no one ever has to do anything for your mind to function in that way. That's innately how it is programmed and how it happens. But that in of itself, that figuring out what that is something no one has ever figured out, because no one ever, it's just all innate in them, and they don't understand the mechanisms of how their somatic feelings are just innately connected with their thinking and stuff. But when you inner clench, when you do the inner squeeze that I did, throughout my whole head and body, just hard inner squeeze, I guess it very much related to an anxiety feeling of the inner tension. and mine was mostly in the head because that's where I was trying to do it. And then all of your thoughts are connected to that. So then everything, you get stuck in that. And so you're constantly in it. So everything you do, even trying to think, you're inner clenching with the thoughts at the same time. And that does not allow you to think very deeply or vividly or anything like that. It's hell on earth, right? So I mean, this is all about breaking that tension connection to the thoughts, right? And yes, the first step is to really try to get your senses on the exterior, right? But it's a relaxed and hard thing, You're trying to relax the tension out of you while also getting a sense of the exterior and getting your thoughts more exterior too. So you're sensing the exterior and trying to get a gut feeling back, because when you isometric inner tension, your somatic feelings turn into that tension. So you don't have any gut feeling anymore. It turns into that tension. And your thoughts are stuck in that too. So the somatic, so the reverse of that is where you need to get your somatic feelings reconnected with all of your thought images again, right? Obviously. That's the opposite of that. So there's no stopping the somatic inner tension. You have to turn it back into into somatic feelings being connected with your thoughts. You have to turn it back into that. Of course, no one knew that that's what it was, that their somatic feelings were rolling with their thoughts in that sort of way. So that's why when you get stuck in it, you're stuck in it permanently for the rest of your life. It's the most dangerous thing you could possibly do. And it was done unbeknownst to me that this was possible. And it absolutely ruined my life times a billion, okay? I went from voted the most funniest kid in my class, multiple state champion wrestler, to a total zombie that couldn't even talk or think. Instantly. And instantly I know this is, what has happened, but instantly I don't know how I was just not doing it. I'm trying to stop it from within the feeling itself. That doesn't work. So I figured out the grounding method of sensing the exterior and trying to get a feeling of that exterior. So by trying to get a hard feeling on that exterior, it's also, at first you're going to be trying, because you're inner clenching, in everything comes from the inner clenching. So you're inner clenching hard into that. Well, that's fine, but either way, you got to start sensing the exterior, even if you're inner clenching into that exterior, and that's the wrong method, but that's a start. Okay, you could start like that, and then you got to concentrate on breaking that inner tension with that. It has to be only sensing the exterior, and all of this has to be fully relaxed. Your whole body has to be fully relaxed, and the sensations you're going to be feeling that sensations through the somatic feelings, the somatic gut feelings, and the thoughts are going to be connected to those somatic feelings as well. So then once those thoughts and the somatic feelings are connected with each other, basically your gut feeling feels like it's coming from the gut, really. and your thoughts feel like they're coming just out of your eye areas. When you're thinking visuals, they're coming straight. They're basically, in the way that I'm seeing everything, your thoughts are like that too, just first person, straight out of, you close your eyes and you just imagine what you want to imagine. It's that same area, right? So then your imaginations are right here. And then with that imagination stuff, your gut feelings are coming back in with the imaginations, and then the thoughts are like a nothingness, but they are increased in intensity or whatever. The somatic feelings feel them, right? So the gut feeling, I'm feeling everything with my gut feelings, not trying to enter isometric tension into the exterior. This will be all relaxed, and instead it will be replaced into somatic feelings, okay? Into the exterior. And so I think probably the biggest point of this video is, first I want to say too, to keep your concentration on everyone else and everything involved in the exterior world and not on yourself, as a kind of a final sort of method. So I'll just say that first. But yeah, so and then also too, once that's going, once you have got that tension away, or at least there's even if there's a little bit of gut feeling, even if there's a little bit of sensations on the exterior that is more of a gut feeling sensation, and this has been relaxed, but maybe it's not even fully relaxed or whatever. Now I'm just saying, even before you feel like, no, and even before you're like, okay, I'm totally all good, everything's back in place in the innate way in which you're supposed to think and feel. Even before that, say, yeah, it's all good, I'm all good, everything's back in place. So now the whole point of this is, so now I can stop thinking about it. Because when you're stuck in the isometric inner-tension hell, the advice is to be like, well, you're the one doing it, you're the one causing it. Just don't think about it. It's always been, just don't think about it. But that doesn't work. Because that's the whole problem, was that I took my thinking, all of the thinking, and sucked them inside of a tension and got stuck in the tension. So the thinking mechanism was totally destroyed, in that I'm stuck trying to think with a projection of inner ice. The thoughts became stuck into that tension, instead of the thoughts being more of that exterior type of thoughts, without any feeling, in which your somatic emotional feelings are directly connected to all those thoughts. Instead, it turned into a transfer of the thoughts being stuck in the isometric inner tension, and you trying to think becomes you projecting the thoughts with the tension. So the not thinking about it doesn't work. because you have to do something else to break the tension into the thought connection. Break the tension so the thoughts can function as a more of a nothingness type of thing without any tension connection. And that tension, that inner isometric tension, is the somatic feeling. You don't have somatic feelings when you lock into the isometric inner tension. So locking out of it, you have to replace it. You can't stop it. It has to be replaced with somatic feelings connected with your thinking images, your thought images. Okay? So let's say, what is my fastest way out of it? Let's say, like I was saying before, I would just go, all right, I'm going to ground hard into this bed. Because the tension and everything and your emotional feelings come straight out in front of you. So you kind of do it. So you ground hard. It goes straight out of the front of you. So that's why you kind of ground hard into the bed. Trying to sense the bed. Trying to think about the feelings of the bed. Getting your gut, getting that tension relaxed out and flowing into the bed real hard, So it's like a relaxed and hard method in which I'm trying to relax that inner isometric tension, but going hard in with the thoughts, but more like hard within the senses of the exterior, and hard within all the thinking connected with somatic feelings. You're trying to get a hard gut feeling, and you're trying to get visuals. So you're trying to think of things that are going to create more of a gut feeling more. You're trying to say, get confident. You're trying to get in, and you're trying to make sure that you're in this first person thing. And you're trying to get in the present moment type of thing. Just keep relaxing that and getting the gut feeling flowing out of you, the thoughts flowing out of you, thoughts and gut feelings intermixed with each other. Then, okay, I'm all good. I'm having a sensation on the exterior that is more of a concentrated feeling than the tension thing. So it has been replaced. And so now you have to stop. Now you have to go into the stop thinking about it, because you want to keep thinking in this way in which the brain is being rewired to think innately as it always was before you got entrapped in the biofeedback, the EEG biofeedback, neurofeedback, isometric tension. It's just really complicated, all this stuff. But so that's why it's like, okay, now I'm all good. Okay, I'm all good. Okay, you're probably not totally all good yet. You've only kind of started getting that more of a sensation on the exterior, where you're actually feeling that exterior, feeling it slightly, maybe just only slightly with your gut feeling, and maybe and then you're thinking. Now you're controlling your body within all of this too, right? It's getting relaxed. Your whole body's getting more relaxed. Your face is getting more relaxed. And you're controlling your body within this. And you're getting a sensation on that exterior that is connected with the gut feelings. And then you're thinking more in all this realm. And then okay, I'm all good. And then you'll just start, then it'll just kind of like fall back into place as you are thinking, as you just say, okay, I'm all good. And now I'm just going to focus on everyone else. Think about everyone else and how they are just feeling with their emotions. Think about how they're doing it, right? Think about them, how they're just thinking and feeling. You know what that is. You relate to it because you were that way your whole life before you got stuck inside of the isometric-inner-tension hell. And instead of it's a glorified self-consciousness, yes, but like I was saying, the glorified self-consciousness becomes a me, I'm stuck in tension, and actually probably your first step is a me, I need to get feeling good, me, I need to get my confidence going, me, I gotta defend my ego and get in the first person and start sensing the exterior with my gut feelings, really. Now I'm all good. So now I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to start thinking about other people. Think about like how the other people that get to have lives, they never got stuck in their own fucking biofeedback inner-tension, which is everyone, except for me. So unfair. And think about how they're feeling. They're just sensing the exterior and their thoughts are rolling with their senses. The gut feeling is connected with all those thoughts. And that's just how they function. It's all straight ahead of them, right? So just like I'm only seeing straight ahead of me, I'm only seeing what I'm seeing, right? They're only like, that's also true. The thought images are like that too, right? Real first person-y, because my first person is seen right here, right? When you're stuck in the isometric inner-tension, it's all kind of warped and messed up like in that way because your gut feelings aren't there. So your gut feelings, they're in the tension. It's not first person-y because first person-y is something where there is not tension here. They're kind of more within your thought images, and your thought images are in the same place in which your actual vision is, right? And then those thought images, you got to relax that isometric inner-tension, which is what used to be the somatic feelings until you got interlocked into that hell. And they will connect back into the thinking. Thoughts here, somatic feelings here, thoughts. They like connect with each other. Okay. Keep relaxing. Keep the feelings, and then the feelings of that exterior, somatic feelings, will replace the inner isometric tension feeling. That's what you want, obviously. Relaxed. Now, my somatic gut feelings. are sensing that exterior. My thought images about everything that I'm thinking about, I'm relating to everyone else's emotions. I'm trying to mimic other people's emotions. And now I'm all good. Tell yourself you're all good. So because now that the kind of functioning, how do you explain, like, just the functioning in which you're supposed to be thinking? That was what got fucked up. Just the basic innate functioning of how people think and feel on a general level is what got fucked by the inner isometric inner-tension neurofeedback mind manipulation shit. So by doing this, that functioning is going back more into its innate place. You're switching it because that's what you have to switch. There is no stopping it. You have to switch it. But then you're like, but what do I switch it into? This is what you switch it into. You switch it into the senses of that exterior with a gut feeling. The sensing is like a gut feeling thing. This is relaxed, and the sensing is hard. The sensing is hard within the gut feeling. Okay? The harder you get it within the gut feeling, then the more of the isometric inner tension will bleed out back into somatic feelings, so the somatic feelings of these sensations. And then the more you add the thoughts that are getting disconnected from that tension, and instead actually reconnected into somatic feelings, the more that the thought images also get into this play, the more out of it you are, obviously, and then and the more you can be like, okay, now I'm out of it. So by saying you're out of it, it allows you to kind of just keep thinking in this sort of way. Keep sensing the exterior with the thoughts connected to your somatic feeling sort of way. Where and then as you kind of do that more, everything will start to pop into place even more so within that thought connection to the somatic feeling thing. And so, and now it's all about not thinking about it, because what can bring it back into place is the thinking about it, which causes the feeling of it, which then causes you to fight the feeling of it, which then causes you to be like stuck in it, with your mind stuck into it, and then trying to figure out, oh shit, how do I not do this? You're trying to like keep it from getting worse. That type of method, which doesn't work, obviously, that's what actually keeps you perpetually ruminated into it. Yeah. So, I mean, I would be interested if anybody, which would be most people who have never done this, if you're able to understand and relate to it. Because I don't know if I never did the mind manipulation in that sort of way, and then somebody was telling me about, oh, you can get stuck inside of your own isometric inner tension, which takes your somatic feelings and takes your gut feelings and it stuffs them into that, and then all your thoughts are also stuffed into that. Everything you're trying to being projected into, like, could anybody understand that if they didn't get stuck into it? I certainly had to figure it out real well in order to be able to flip the script in order to escape it. Because as far as I am concerned, when you do that, you are stuck in it forever. You're stuck in it for the rest of your life, because it is a mystery. I mean, you're stuck until you figure out what everyone is doing to not do it, because like I said, you can't stop it. You have to switch into whatever the fuck you were doing before you got stuck into it. But the thing is, whatever the fuck you were doing before is something that is so innate that everyone just does. It's, the thinking connected with your feelings thing, that that no one even knows that they're doing it, or what exactly it is, or how it all functions, And because you don't know that, you don't know what to switch the isometric inner tension into, because there's no stopping it. There's only switch. Just because you switched from somatic feelings, where your thoughts are just connected to all of your, or whatever, the hard to explain, whatever innate way in which everyone is, it's hard to explain. So you switched from that innate way into a hard clenching, squeezing, isometric inner tension, where your thoughts are connected in, like, stuck inside of that. And the reverse of it is a totally different fucking feeling, obviously. But because you switched from that to that, you don't just stop this. No, you have to switch it back from this to that. But the problem is, where's my finger? The back into the innate way in which you function is something that has never been, like, explained. Everyone just does the innate way in which they function. And then not only does the isometric inner tension slow your thoughts down so much where it would be hard to figure out anything about anything, but within that state of mind, you have to fucking figure out something that no one has ever figured out before, which is what the fuck everyone is doing, in that they are just having somatic feelings connected with their thoughts at all times, and their thoughts are just flowing with their thoughts. Their feelings are just flowing with their thoughts, and it's just all like, it's just kind of like out here about, right? And their feelings are kind of like out here about, and they're all connected and stuff, and that's just the way it all is and everything, and nothing ever stops them from being that innate way, right? You actually have to figure that out, because there is something that stops you from being that way, and I did it. And when you do it, you have to figure out the thing that no one has ever had to figure out before, because you have to switch into that, and you have to figure out what that fucking is. Okay? So anyways, and what that is getting that sensation on the exterior, getting it more thought-driven, breaking the connection of the tension to the thoughts, increasing the gut feelings connecting to the thoughts, and then once that is kind of flowing a little bit, you have to be like, okay, I'm out of it, I'm all good, because now all I have to do is kind of just keep going with this sort of kind of thinking that is disconnected from tension, keep that concentration going, and just through, as you just keep thinking in that way in which it gets disconnected, instead somatic feelings increase, is they switch out, and it increases with your thoughts. From there, once those thoughts are going and everything, you just have to keep thinking and thinking, and then everything is fixed. You can like relax really, like even more so just by thinking about it. But now that your thoughts are functioning back in your innate way, all of that is just easily fixed within the thoughts themselves. You understand? So that's why this is such an unbelievably complex thing, much more than you would ever think. And such a horror show of which I got got mind manipulated into. And it's just the most dangerous thing in the world, really. So, yeah, no one would ever believe it because they hadn't had to go through it. And not to mention how unbelievably painful it is, the clinch. It's horrific. Yeah, it's not crazy. And I had to waste away my whole life on that bullshit that should have never even happened to me for a second of my life. Talk about unfair, you know what I'm saying?